Right now, we would like to know more about this BCBP Honesty Champion. Okay, JR, can you tell us more?
Yeah, actually, Casey, there are a number of things that they can do. No, the first one is simple lang. Bring living honestly online virality. Like you just mentioned, just click share whatever is posted. Small tip lang, when you post anything from kapatiran that's really related to tapat dapat or be honest tapat dapat, there's a drop down there where you can choose to public rather than just post to friends. No? Post to public. So to be able to do that, you actively subscribe to BCBP Kapatiran social media platforms. No? Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Follow, like, subscribe, and comment on Tapat Dapat postings. Repost and share these to as many individuals, BCBP and non-BCBP alike. Invite members of their chapters or outreaches to subscribe to our online platforms and extend the invitation to non-members as well. Contribute content on living honestly. These may be small stories, anecdotes, no? Whether real accounts or developed narratives, filmed or photographed documentations of BCBP activities, or even minute-long video snippets of a man-on-the-street commentaries and the BCBP projects. Encourage the practice of honesty and integrity within BCBP and beyond. Be an amplifier. Install various collaterals in strategic locations like church premises, workplaces, business establishments, and government offices. Distribute stickers for cars, windows, etc. I remember some offices when I was going through, when I was actively in corporate, no, may mga offices ka, may nakalagay doon na be honest, no, na BCBP na placard right on their tables. Right? Let's help foster partnerships. Establish alliances with different sectors, church organizations, academic institutions, the private sector, civic societies, etc. Engage them to adopt, co-brand, and even promote the Tapat Dapat campaign. Pursue government agencies for the promotion of honesty in the workplace, espousing good governance and waging a genuine fight against corruption and disinformation. Amplify the breadth and depth of living honestly movement through collaborative undertakings like values formation seminars, discussion fora, recognition ceremonies. More than anything, an honest champion is a seeker, bearer, and sharer of truth.
Tama si JR. An honesty champion, as every member ought to be. Kasi kanina sinabi namin, honesty champion kami. Pero ang end state nito, lahat tayo honesty champion. Hindi lang kami. As an honesty champion, you're both an advocate and model for our cause. To be honest is clearly point A. Umpisa lang yan eh. The starting point, by making honesty and integrity foundational to our being, inseparable from our imitation of Jesus, we then raise the bar in the ways we deal with others. Sabi nga siya, he is the exemplar. Di ba si Jesus sa exemplar? He embodies honesty. So, he raised the bar. The way we deal with others, the way we do business, the way we perform our duties, the ways we see ourselves in the mirror, the ways we come to God in prayer. As we should, brothers and sisters, because each BCBP member is personally invited by the one who is the way, the truth, and the life, to be his genuine champions for honesty, even if others are not, will not, and cannot.
That's awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm reminded of a Bible verse actually in Matthew 5, verse 13. It says, allow me to read it on my notes. You are the salt of the earth, but if salt loses its saltiness, how can its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything, but it is thrown out and trampled underfoot. So, you guys, we have this rule of honesty champion, but it's always up to us, to follow through. So please, I know it's almost 8 p.m. now, but please stay. We still have a few more things we want to share with you. And possibly answer the questions that you submitted on the registration form. So please do stay, everybody.
Konti na lang to.
Yes, konti na lang.
Konti na. At this point, we are inviting you, all the attendees here. Tapos sabihin nyo na rin yung sa hindi naka-attend, to start becoming honesty champions and be agents of authentic positive change. We may attend breakfast, nag-attend tayo ng mga assemblies, nag-invite tayo ng first-timers, we attend action groups, yung iba nga lang, action groups lang eh, and we attend at all BCBP activities. Pero it's not bad, it's not bad. It's, yeah, with nasa commitment card na yan. Everything is good. But over and above that, we are all agents of authentic positive change in the marketplace and in our areas of influence. Let us therefore amplify our Be Honest advocacy into the Living Honestly movement. Ayun yung binanggit ni Casey sa umpisa eh. 2025, it must become a movement. And we cannot do that without your help. Let us invite our members, encourage them, and cheer them on to signing up as honesty champions. Together, in our individual as well as our collective honesty transformation, let us be one BCBP, living honestly.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that, Noel. And that is why we are here, to pull everyone in this service, this becoming honesty champions, no? And it's really a journey that we need to go through together, right, Annie?
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. Exactly, Casey. If I can pick up, no, if I may pick up from where you left off, verses 14 and 15 of Matthew chapter 5 continues to call us, just like our opening song, no, which is, I think, very, very fitting for our roadshow tonight. May I quote, "You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house." So mga kapatid, let your light shine. Be honesty champions, not just in name, but in action, because working for truth is part and parcel of our evangelistic mission. Help drive the Be Honest advocacy into becoming the Living Honestly movement. Begin by encouraging your fellow members to attend the upcoming road shows, so that in all things, we may love and serve the Lord.
Yes, amen to that. So we're just about done here. Any final words for the participants, JR?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to recognize two gentlemen, no? The first one is John Reyes, who actually gave the challenge to come up with that song, and was the original one, who's the original mover and shaker of this honesty team, no, this amplifier team, which was followed now by JV De La Fuente, no. JV was the one was steering the ship December of 2021, leading into and he was actually the one responsible for that grand breakfast, no, and the team behind that. But you know, even with that, no, nakita nyo, may change of passing down, but we still move together because we'll continue to circulate all these plans and key activities that we mentioned earlier through a series of honest living road shows such as this. We'll do it by BCBP area or region, no? Thus, we'll be inviting more honesty champions to register and sign up. Immediately after this session, we will create a messaging group through either Facebook Messenger or Viber and form what we call honesty circles. This way, we will continue to be open and transparent in communicating and collaborating with each other as we go further into the key activities that we mentioned. We look forward to mutual sharing of ideas for programs or initiatives that will help us grow and inspire each other as we amplify honesty in our chapters and respective networks. Onboarding sessions will immediately be scheduled after the roadshow for the amplifiers to accurately and appropriately share the tools and be aligned in implementation, especially for the communication and coalition initiatives towards mobilization. So watch out for that. This is a progressive journey, no? As you can see the timeline right there. Sometimes, I guess, inevitably, we will fall back to our old ways. That's another purpose for these honesty circles, to help us as a support system, to keep us on the path of self-reflection and awareness of our own honesty, so we can live honestly and amplify honesty to others, even beyond BCBP.
Yes. Own, live, amplify honest living. You know, there's a lot of information shared tonight, and I know it will take time for everybody here to really digest it, to reflect on it, and truly participate, no, as BCBP men and women honesty champions. So onward to 2025, if you can see here on the slide, no, the key activities that were shared to you, as we continue to progress, no, throughout the year and up to 2025, will be empowering you. You'll be empowering your members in your respective chapters. And we look forward for BCBP chapters to own this honest living or living honestly movement as the key drivers. So watch out for the realignment of existing BCBP directorate activities to ensure that this integration of our Be Honest advocacy becomes our BCBP way of life. And as we move closer to activating our Living Honestly Movement 2025, honesty champions will take the lead in executing and implementing action plans and chapter level supported by us, by the honesty amplifiers. So at this point, we end our roadshow, Honest Living, our road to a unified Christian way of life. And we now open the floor for questions. Now, to kickstart, we asked you guys to submit questions in the registration form. No? So I will tackle some of them immediately right now. And to simplify, I had to cluster some of the questions. No? So the first question for our panel tonight is, some think that Be Honest is a political movement. How do we strengthen our advocacy to effectively internalize and live out this culture of honesty in the BCBP, in our daily activities? Anybody in the panel can answer this.
Yeah, sige,
Okay.
I'll take that one. Well, as we mentioned earlier, no, there are actually gonna be integration of honesty in our programs, even in our action groups. Because like we said earlier, it really starts with the self. No, you can't influence, you cannot give what you do not have. So if we really think this is a good thing and this is the start of authentic positive change, then we have to change ourselves. So let's start with our own activities. A big chunk of that is actually when you do your sharing, your breakfast sharings, when you write it, really insert stories of honesty in it, and how how that reflection has made you a better person, diba? And spread throughout. And we were actually already talked to the directorates, and as Annie mentioned earlier, there are already steps in place, and we'll just carefully roll it out as this year goes forward, no? So yeah, I think really, you know, you always have to ask yourself, how can I start? Laging ganon.
Thank you. And yes, no, it's not just a political movement nga eh. We really want to integrate it in our individual lives, in our chapter activities. And that's the whole point of this roadshow, right? Next question. What are the recommended ways to become effective honesty champions in our social media life? Our BCPP Kapatiran social media manager, Deb, you want to answer this question?
Yeah, also I just like to reiterate, no, it's very important for us to like and comment and share the content of the kapatiran, particularly the tapat dapat contents for wider reach, no po. And actually eventually ang dream po namin is for the regions and even up to the chapter level to be able to create and produce dapat collaterals by themselves para po marami po tayong gumagawa ng content and we just keep on sharing and sharing within our circle and even beyond. And then another thing that we can do is we can actually have online collaborations like we have partnership with Elim and MAD, yan, mga like-minded groups din. And we can ask them to cross-post our materials so that, yeah, again, for broader reach. And yeah, but again, as I've said also earlier, then we can post as many collaterals, as many social media cards as we want. But then a bottom line would be sana we also reflect the advocacy in our personal lives. So that's it, Casey. That's on
Yeah,
top of my
Case,
head.
Case, I'd like to add lang, no? Because
Sure.
Beth mentioned sharing, mentioned that people would like to collaborate. Together with the roadshow and the onboarding, we'll be releasing a brand kit on how we can use the Be Honest Tapat Dapat collateral so that we are there, we are all aligned with how we use it, no? So one sight, one mind lang tayo, di ba? So that's the campaign so that it remains to be campaignable and we will be conscious with the branding of this movement.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of the chapters here are excited to receive that brand kit, ano? So that's why we asked for your contact details in the registration form so that we can start forming those honesty circles and communicate with you, no, moving forward after this roadshow. So please do expect that invitation to the participants here. Right. Next question. Yes, time check. 8:13, but we have a few, well, one last question on my notes from the registration form, and if there will be, maybe we can entertain one question from the group here online, no? So question number 3, how do we measure now be honest or honesty within our organization in the BCBP? We're moving into this advocacy to movement, so how are we going to look into this?
Actually, Casey, it's nice you mentioned that. We will be rolling out. So another thing to look out for, how do we do that? So I don't want to mention how we're going to do it now because it's a bit premature, but that is already in the works, no? So watch out for that announcement.
Yep. So this amplifier team is constantly thinking of ways on how we can really integrate this into our lives, into our chapters activities, into our workplaces. And one of this, of course, is yun nga, yung sinabi ni JR, no? We're cooking up something. It's not ready to be shared at this point, but when it's ready, that's why we want to form these honesty circles with the honesty champions in your respective chapters. So we have representatives and we really reach everybody, no, nationwide in the BCBP. But yes, we have that in mind now. We will be able to measure that, hopefully, no, with the right qualifiers. All right. So I have no more questions in my notes from the registration form. Let me just read here on the chat. It's a comment actually. They want to share that on May 13th, the Taguig chapter will have its Works of Mercy at CP Tinga Elementary in Taguig. They will be giving learner kits to 250 young learners, and each kit will have that Be Honest Tapat Dapat sticker. So the school allowed them to install it also in a 5x6 tarpaulin. So thank you. All right. And then if there are questions, you may type in on the chat box if you have other questions. But there was, interestingly, not a question in the registration form that I just want to share very quickly here in the group. It was actually more of suggested activities, no? So in a form of a question, no? So can the BCBP launch a national search and awards and recognition for young outstanding businessmen and professionals as ambassadors of honesty? Yeah, good idea yan, no? Parang yung ano yun, yung TOYM, yung
Poem, yeah.
Ayan, di ba? Yun to, no? So, another suggestion, can BCBP do a HO.ME scholarship program, the Honest Movement scholarship program? Maybe we'll think about that. Thank you for that suggestion. And can BCBP launch a honesty seal across business and government establishments after passing a certain criteria? Well, I think that's something, in the future would be nice to see that, no? And hopefully yung iniisip naming sustainability measures na in the works will be able to have something like that, no? An honesty seal of some sort or certification, no? Yes, Noel, you are raising your hand.
Hindi, kasi walang nagtatanong eh. Yung tungkol doon sa yung sa Watch Project, we have already prepared the briefing. Baka gusto nyong gayahin. Wala namang problema eh. Ha? So if you want it, we will go to your place o kaya kahit online kung nagtitipid kayo. Gagawin namin online. Cindy Guzman, the PSD of Kamanaba, has already come up with the presentation. Eh nakita nyo naman, ang gagaling ng mga creatives namin ginagamit ngayon. Ha? Kaya lang pagod na sila eh. Kasi volunteer lang to, kaya we need more volunteers. But definitely, we are ready. It's just a 10-minute briefing. It is just 10 minutes and we will tell you how they did it. You might want to replicate it in your area. By the way, narito yung idol ko eh. Si Pope Francis, Frank Curry. Ito yung natin. National University has already approached our president. Paano ba raw nila magagawa yung Be Honest campaign sa National University? So I might be touching base with the team might be touching base with one of your RCDs or maybe si AMD Curry na, si Lodi. Pakain ka lang ha, kasi malalakas kumain tong team ko eh.
Nabubuko tayo. Joke. Alright. Parang kanina, I saw quick raise hand pero binaba ulit eh. Who was that? Wala talagang question yon. Baka nahihiya.
Hindi, tsaka ko pala, yung sinasabi kanina ni JR na brand kit, eto sa tingin ko, mapapangiti kayo. Kasi makakatipid yung mga chapters. Gumagawa na sila ng yung tawag dito, yung pang giveaways, uniform giveaways for yung mga sharers nyo during breakfast, ilalagay nyo na lang yung pangalan ng chapter nyo. Kasi na tayo, face-to-face na tayo, bababa na yung savings nyo tiyak eh. Marami na kayong gagastusan eh. At least tutulungan namin kayo para mapababa yung expenses nyo. Kaya
Sorry to cut you.
Unang bibigyan natin ng brand kit yung yung NEC formation. Ayun ang inaantay niya kaya siya nag-attend eh.
Okay, we have a question on the chat. Is there a talk outline on Be Honest Dapat for teaching night? Is this particularly for mga part of formation directorate? I think, no? Teaching.
Okay. Let me answer that. Actually, it was just recently approved. Gumawa na information natin si Rene Medrosillo ng Integrity Series. It's a series of talks. Ita-timing na lang i-jive na lang doon sa schedule. There will be 3 integrity talks. Tapos afterwards, yung sinabi kanina, it was mentioned by, I think it's si Annie, no? There will be siguro mga 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes that discuss lang yung how yung during the yung period between action group meetings, ano yung experience mo on honesty. Kasi constantly i-discuss talaga yan eh. It will be part and parcel, i-integrate nga sa lahat ng activities natin eh.
Yep, that's right. We have Annie from Cebu Central raising his hand. There, I clicked.
Unmute ka, bro.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, siguro, this is not a question, but a suggestion because I'm just waiting for this roadshow to kick off. Maybe this week, Noel, we can come up with a memorandum to the mission directors and the chapter heads, asking or requiring our sharers to put in honesty stories. Kaya inaabangan ko yung sinasabi mong mga tokens dyan na pwede natin gawin kasi that would be a very good breakfast share token to be given to them. But definitely within the week, gagawin ko na sana kanina, but I'm just waiting for them. So I'll coordinate with you with that memorandum about sharings with the honesty stories. Bro.
Sige, thank you.
Thank you, Annie. So, again, questions here on the chat. Are we revamping the BCBP website to highlight the push of our honesty advocacy into a movement? This is a communications ministry question, I think.
Yeah, we have plans of restructuring, reformatting the website, but not solely for to push for the honesty advocacy, but it's more of to bring it to give it a more corporate look, no po. But primarily our content and our everything about Tapat Dapat will be featured sa BCBP Kapatiran Facebook page po.
Can I take that answer? No? So we are doing a website refresh. It will not be called BCBP Kapatiran website, but BCBP site. So it will credentialize. The site is there for outsiders looking in. Other platforms, we are coming out for internal consumption. The website primarily that we are going to construct is for outside looking in so that we are able to credentialize BCBP. And not only for honesty, but to credentialize our community.
Thank you for that, Aries. So, another follow-up, I think, from the teachings on Be Honest. So there was a question on how to access the integrity talked outlines. So I think there's a protocol of sharing naman all these information as we go along, no, the progress. Is that correct, Noel?
It will be the NSC formation will be coming up with the communication pertaining to that. Pati yung schedule, kung i-recommend nila kung kailan. It would be NSC for formation. In fact, they will be also the one crafting, also with the help of the amplifiers team, of crafting yung question or yung ano yung pag-uusapan mo for 5 to 10 to 15 minutes about honesty every AGM. It is basically within the scope of formation.
Yeah, I think we're at the starting point of really shaking things up. A lot of the other formation activities or programs or talks that we have naman already have a hint of it there, right? It's just really parang ika nga ni Tita Annie, no? We will just tighten it, right? It's there. It's just we need to tighten things up, right? So thank you for the panel and everybody else. It's 8:25 and I don't want to hold any, if there are no more questions here, we really appreciate your putting time off to be here with us to ask these questions, and hopefully after this we will be able to spread the word to let our light shine, in not just online, in the things that we do in our respective chapters, amplify it in your own little way.